George, I mean, it's only the first week of the season, but how have you found it?
Yeah, good. I think the performances have been sort of fairly positive. Of course, we've not had the first win yet, but I think the performances have been good. We've just not really put our chances away, which has been the unfortunate thing. But I think there's been so much good things, we can still be excited about.
And for you, sort of looking defensively, it was such a good season last year, and you kept pretty much the same personnel in most of the defensive positions. I guess the key is trying to build on that and improve even further.
Yeah, I think so. Like you said, we had a good defence last year. We've built some pretty good relationships as well between us. So yeah, we just got to try and continue that this year and try to remain solid.
And for you, sort of coming into a season, having you properly established as first team regular now, do you sort of come into pre-season and think, right, I want to work specifically on this, or is it just a general let's get ready for the opening game and the 9 months to come?
Yeah, I think there's always stuff I'd like to improve on. So yeah, I will focus on those things coming into the season. It's always about trying to improve and becoming a better player. So yeah, I have sort of things I want to work on. So it's just about keep pushing yourself throughout pre-season and then being ready to go when the season starts.
So without sort of giving it all away, what are the sort of areas, or give me an area that you think, I want to make improved, or I want to tweak that?
I think mainly just the sort of in possession stuff. I want to try and push myself as much as I can, trying to playing forwards and having a bit more of an effect higher up the pitch. And then the defensive stuff, just keep on pushing myself as well. I know I'm a really solid defender, so it's just about keeping doing that consistently and putting in high performances every single week.
And certainly going forward, Hull in particular, I saw you sort of overlapping a good few times. It's a part of the game that you're definitely getting into the right parts of the pitch.
Yeah, and I think this season, we're trying to be a little bit more fluid in terms of the position and stuff. So hopefully, it gives me a bit more freedom to make those underlapping and overlapping runs to get in those areas of the pitch.
Because when you look at that front side of the team, a lot of the same players are still here, but that's where the majority of the recruitments have been. And even for somebody like you, knowing where your number 10, your right wing, your striker wants you to go, it's going to take a bit of time, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's what the gaffer's been building. We have quite a lot of structure within our team, so I think it really helps. It helps to sort of build relationships and sort of knowing where your next pass is going to be, etc. So just got to continue that.
And it's about being... Patience is not a good word in football, is it? Because nobody ever wants to be patient, but you've got some players that have come in and already shown good attributes up front, signed a couple of number 10s this week who hopefully will help with that creativity. Is the feeling within the squad that it is coming, it's round the corner?
Yeah, I think so. We're really excited about the season and the additions that we've added. I think Sinks and Fally give us something different up front, and like you said, the number 10s that we're signing, hopefully they can help us be a bit more creative and find that final ball when we need it most. That's probably something we've been lacking last season and start of this season. Just somebody to sort of unlock those defences and turn those chances into goals, really.
So opening game, Hull, a lot of changes, but definitely trying to play out from the back. You kind of know what you're getting from Coventry because they've been the same for a while, but a really good ball-playing team. It's going to be a different test at the weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, playing Millwall is always a tough game. They're so physical, so we have to be ready for the physical battle. But it's about trying to play the game how we want to play it, rather than, they probably want a bit more of a physical, chaotic game. So when we get the ball, it's about trying to control it and play the game how we want to play.
And you had a little smile when you sort of said that. Do you enjoy the fact that they are going to put you under pressure physically and just get in your face, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean they've changed a bit last season, but I think they've sort of gone back to the old ways almost. So yeah, we have to be prepared for the battle. It's always tough playing against those teams, so we have to be ready for it.
But you're right, the key is for you defensively standing up to that, but then when you get the ball, trying to play the kind of football that we know that you're trying to play as a team.
That's it, yeah. So when we get the ball, we want to sort of relax and hopefully keep the ball and keep a bit of control within the game. Yeah, and the only way we do that is by playing the way we want to play.
Super, thank you.
Thank you.
It is a physical battle, but I guess there's a mental element to that as well, because you don't want to get sort of wound up by things. You don't want to kind of lose your rhythm. Do you feel as a player, I know you're a bit older, you're not the sort of the young kid on the block anymore, do you feel you're better at that now in terms of how you kind of react to situations in games perhaps?
What, dealing with more physical games?
Yeah, well just, things that try and sort of throw you off your game plan and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think so. It's probably something that comes with experience. I think I've played in enough games now to sort of adapt to different ways of playing. Millwall is certainly a very, very physical team, so I think you just have to adapt to it. And obviously, by playing loads of games, you sort of grow as a player, and you can get used to playing in those sorts of games.
How kind of experienced? Because it is a young dressing room, isn't it? I know there's a few sort of older guys in there, but the age has come down. He's obviously captain at 23. How do you kind of feel within that dynamic? Do you feel like a senior player now?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think now I certainly have like a lot of experience. And I want to be known as a sort of senior player. I'm experienced enough now, and I've played a lot of games. So I certainly feel like I can be a really important player in the team.
What's it like to have Scott back?
Yeah, has that been announced now? Yeah, it's exciting. He's a good player. I mean, like I said before, we need someone like that who's going to be creative, and hopefully he can help us create many goals and score goals this season.
As a player, when stuff like that's going on in the background, the transfers, I don't know if you bother reading it. I mean, as a young lad, you're probably engaged in social media to a point. I don't know. Some bits. How much do you kind of like take it in, or do you park it a little bit as a footballer, or is everyone different in the dressing room? Like, do you kind of like, it's Twiney coming back, that sort of thing? Like, how are you kind of? What are you doing? That?
We don't read into it too much. Obviously, there's some lads that will speak to Twiney to try and get updates and things like that. So we always get a bit of an inkling as to who's coming in and who's not. But we just sort of let it happen and just crack on with what we're doing, training and whatnot. The lads aren't like searching Twitter as to who we're going to be signing next and things like that.
When he left at the end of last season, you obviously wanted him back in the building, I would imagine. Would that be fair to say? Yeah.
I think he can be an important player for us. So we're quite excited about having him back. We need someone like that. So hopefully he can push on this season and really help us.
Could you give an insight into the other George in the squad now, George Earthy, kind of how he's looked in training over the last couple of days? Yeah,
I mean, I've only had one session with him, so it's hard to say. But he looks like a really exciting player. Hopefully he's another one that can, sort of really help us this year. I'm sure he'll want to get some first team games under his belt, so he's just got to try and make an impact whenever he comes on the pitch. But he's settled in really well, and he seems like a really nice lad, so yeah.
Thanks, George.
Thank you very much.